Hi Woodland Hills, this is Mrs. Mankey, and to help celebrate Veterans Day, I am at Edgewater Community, and we are able to speak to some of the veterans that will share some of their experiences, and we have Mr. Kirkpatrick, who's going to tell us a little about his experience. So, can you tell us what part of the military branch you served in?
Well, the U.S. Army Infantry, the basic group. I was drafted. I tried to enlist the day before I had to sign up for registration, and they wouldn't take me, so I was drafted. I got out of high school at age 16, so all my buddies were off to war, and I wanted to go. And so I had a physical. They said, "You're immature." I was tall and skinny. Well, I still am. But anyway, so I didn't get in for quite a while, but when I did get in, I went to basic training in Texas. Anyway, I wound up at the Philippine Islands in the infantry. And we were chasing the Japanese north on the island of Luzon, and they were being pushed back. They knew they were losing the war by then. And they went up over a group of mountains and had gardens planted and so on. We were not that far, but we were chasing them. And it was pretty easy going except for the weather. We're walking, and two experiences occurred on this deal. One of them was, it was a hot day. We bunched up under the shade of a big tree right by the road, and a machine gun, Japanese machine gun, opened fire on us. There were probably 15 people, and hit only one person. Wow. Took his eye out. We each had a bandage on our belt that you take out like a sardine can, put it on. "Well, I got a ticket home," that's what he said, and that was the way it was. Yeah. The other time, I was fired on by a machine gun. We had an anti-tank 37 millimeter gun, and the Japanese did have tanks. The Air Force had got most of them, but we didn't know that. Anyway, we always make a pretense in a village of setting up out here, and then after dark we'd move it over here, or something like that. So we're out there looking around, and bang, our own machine gun opened up on us. And the officer, the company commander, had ready to shut that thing off. It stopped right now. Surprise. That was the scariest part. Then when they dropped the atomic bombs on Japan, then I knew I was going to make it. Up to that time, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Because it's night and day. You're on duty 24 hours a day. And at night you're sleeping in a hole or a slit trench, or you're on guard duty and that sort of thing. So it wasn't pleasant at all.
What, you said it was hot. Like, how hot was it?
I would guess 100 degrees. We had to take salt tablets to keep part of liquidation, and we're supposed to drink a lot of water. And we also had atabrine pills, which there's a lot of malaria in the Philippines, and some of the guys came down with it, but took care of it.
What was it like when you first arrived in Malaysia? Had you traveled? Or sorry, Philippines.
Yeah, that's right. We traveled on a troop ship out of San Francisco. We went out under the Golden Gate Bridge, and I said, "I hope I see you sometime," and I did. Came back the same way. Yeah. There were 10,000 of us on this troop ship. The sleeping quarters were down below, like on hammocks, and it was so smelly down there. And two of my buddies and I slept on deck every night. We were on the ship 30 days. We went, 10,000 of us went clear down to the southwest, and then turned and went, joined a convoy and went up to the Philippines. We tried to anchor in the bay at Manila, the largest city, and it was full of Japanese ships that had been sunk by the Air Force. You couldn't even get a big ship through there, so we had to get on a small boat to go ashore.
Wow. And had you, before this, had you done any traveling before to?
A little bit, yeah. By train across from here back to California and back a couple of times, and but I'd never been on a ship, so it was quite an experience. Seasick for 3 days, but once you got over it, you're over it. Oh, I had an experience coming back. This was sometime after the war ended, because I was in combat like 3 months, and the war ended, and I had to stay longer. Anyway, got on a ship, and this sailor said, "Hey, GI, how long since you've had a drink of fresh milk?" I said, 18 months. He said, "There." He set a carton of milk out there. He said, "It's frozen. Thaw it with your hands." I did. Sour.
Oh, no.
Then we landed in San Francisco, and they gave you a little piece of wood, and it said steak on it. What's this all about? Go up to the chow place, and they'll make you a steak right now. Right up there, we're all out.
What food did you miss the most when you were abroad?
Normal life, sleep, bed. Well, the food was okay, but it was survival, kind of, you know, K rations, C rations, that sort of thing. That's canned or boxed stuff. And of course, knowing that you could be shot at and hit, you know, that's kind of overshadows everything.
Yeah. Writing letters was the only way to really communicate with your
Yeah,
family.
and I can't remember what the Army called it, but they had forms you fill out, and it goes postal free and so on. But they were all monitored. Every letter from an enlisted man, I don't think the officers were, but the enlisted men, the lower ranks guys, they went through, and once in a while they cut out pieces. If the letter was intercepted by the enemy, it could go against us. So there was security was heavy, very heavy.
And how long would a letter take to go from you back to home?
Oh, I don't even know. I would guess several days, maybe weeks, probably weeks, but I don't honestly know.
Right. When you were done with your service, what did you do when you came back?
I came back and went to Shelton Junior College in Northwest Iowa, and well, I bummed around for a while. I had bought my first car, an old black thing that was worn out, but did junior college and down to the University of Iowa. Accidentally stumbled into radio, so I switched my major from business to journalism, radio journalism. Got lucky, graduated of February of '51. There was a job at WHO Radio here in Des Moines, and I just happened to just clicked like it was meant to be. Lucky.
And you've been doing that for how long then?
Well, since 1951. I retired in '90 as the farm director down there full time. But now I work 1 hour a week, Sundays 12 to 1. Sportsman's Notebook, be sure and listen. Outdoor recreation, hunting and fishing, that sort of thing.
Anything else you'd like to share with us about
Well,
your
it
experience?
was no fun being overseas, I'll tell you that. But a lot of people had to go, and I'm glad it's over.
Yeah. Well, we thank you so much for sharing your experiences and with the students, and we really appreciate your
You're very
service.
wel-
Thank you very
welcome.
much.